fast does that thing go, Mr. Wilson?
Pretty quick. All right. I was waiting for her.
I'm just going in the yard for after election.
Save some electricity.
And we'll come back into open session at 7:40. Okay, I will go back to the item 8, discussion and approval of ordinance amending Code of Ordinances, Division 6, Chief of Police, subsection 1.05.104, qualifications, requirements for police chief to live within city limits.
All right, I make a motion to approve ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Weimar, Texas, Article 1.05, City Officers, Division 6, Chief of Police, qualifications. The person appointed to the office Chief of Police shall be at least 21 years of age. He or she shall have a minimal educational, training, physical, and mental standards established by the State Commission on Law Enforcement Standards and Education, and also to live within the 78962 zip code or 5 aerial miles outside the city limits of Weimar, Texas.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilman Christian and a second from Councilwoman Roberts. It's open for additional discussion. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Anything else? We go to budget workshop, right?
Yes.
Okay, we go to agenda item number 8, budget workshop to discuss general fund and solid waste.
Can we take
Yes,
2
I'm gonna
minutes?
take a little 3 to 5 minute break so we can have a adjustment break. AT&T up.
AT&T.
Yeah, it's been acting up all day today. Is it hiding on me? Can you get it, Dolores, or you want me?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
you see it?
I see it better up
You have
close.
to use the screen, huh? I can't see it.
My screen's blank over here to make it work.
Oh, so you can't see it, you have to get close too, huh?
Andy worked on it for a while to try to figure it
We
out.
could, it's supposed to be able to do both, but
Wonderful
Maybe
technology.
DC3 needs to get a hold of your computer.
Oh, no.
because I have a Microsoft Surface. and
Make
it's
sure
really good.
it works.
They'll say you need a new computer.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to fix
Well, I
it.
was going to, yeah, I was gonna wait till,
Yeah, Dolores gotta come back.
What
I
address?
got the strong height.
I grabbed 4 of them, but.
I don't know, I think that glass is gonna work good for you.
Oh, yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Those are the exact ones I have.
Yeah, I'm seeing them now.
Do you need it? We'll leave that one here, do you?
I
need
just
it?
can't get rid of them all.
You still have to turn on Ron's
Yes, I do.
I'm always cleaning my throat.
Take that one here.
My little container.
That was there's number one.
Yeah, that works. Great.
Okay. You ready to take it?
that one page 17.
Wrong one.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna pick back up, with the library. It's pretty much the same here, let's go into the, just at the edge of my vision. I think we kept everything the same as far as, the books, the e-books, the DVDs, the audiobooks. Misty, did you have anything, did you wanna say about your budget?
Not really.
Keeping everything pretty much the same.
Just keeping it about the same. Nothing, no big plans this year.
No capital improvement.
That's one thing.
Oh, the doorway in it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So actually, yeah, no, actually we had, for this year, we had, the fire escape door and, repaired a rotten wood. So, the door closest to where you first enter the library, it opens, when you open it, it opens out. And so it needs a panic bar. That was pretty simple. When you go to the back room, the handicap door, it opens inward. So it's posed a challenge for, I had a couple contractors look at it, and it's posed a challenge for them to turn the door around and make it open outward. When you push the panic bar, it should open outward. And it's the way that it's constructed, there's big hunks of concrete, and it's constructed in like the 1800s. So, it's a challenge, so we're gonna have to keep looking at that. But, we'll do what we can this year in this budget and, you know, add something for next year's budget, whatever we need to do to repair that door. It's gonna be a little bit more expensive than we first thought. There is some rotten wood around some of the windows and things like that. So, there was also some talk about expanding the library. We have a lot of buildings that would like to do. There was some talk about maybe expanding the library and putting, I guess we said a meeting room
Yeah, meeting room, program room or
on the
something.
west end, I guess it would be.
What is that?
Yes.
The parking lot,
Oh,
parking
the
lot
parking
side, I
lot
was
or the
thinking.
west end? Either or.
Either or, see whatever works
Mhm.
better, and
Um,
if not,
So that's a thought. I don't, you'll just keep that in mind if that's something y'all would like to do in the future.
yeah.
Right now, it's hard for them, the whole presentation.
Just build separate.
Mm-hmm.
Christie, would you have 110 people at the snake, presentation?
Mm-hmm, 119.
119 people, so I mean, it's tight, and then we also.
It was pretty snug, but it was still,
Yeah,
last year was even more, but
yeah, so it's something that we need to think about in the future.
Sell tickets, so you only have a limited
I'll just sell tickets in. I probably have more show ups,
Bring in the revenue
number.
stream.
Yeah, there you go.
because it's not free.
Let's see, Hill Park, it's about the same in here.
Building repairs. Bathroom?
This one?
No,
Oh, up here. What was that for? Oh, building improvements, I'm sorry. Concessions and bathroom upgrades. So, yeah. We have a little bit here. Yeah, that they are getting
Here's some
really.
glasses.
Yeah, no, I opposite of that. I can't see far away.
Oh,
these go up and down.
So they go up and down. So we do have some things, some painting and stuff like that scheduled for this year. As far as that, the bathrooms and concession stand over there. So this year, I think it was just painting, is that right, Don?
Yes.
Just painting this year?
Mhm.
We've already, I don't know why it's not even showing up here, but we've installed some fans. I guess it's down here in this line right here already. We installed some fans in the bathrooms, some motion activated light switches. We're still working on those. And then this one here was for,
Ball field lights.
yeah, the ball field lights. You wanna talk about that again? I don't know what, we didn't bring any kind of papers, but it was, you got some? Okay, yeah.
Was just, I just printed a copy out. Okay, those ball field lights, obviously we know they're on its last leg. I mean, we've been patching them for years and stuff. Before I got here, it was some LED lights that were ordered probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but they're real big, they're probably, I don't know, 50 pounds each, but I don't trust putting on to a wood pole. Because, I mean, some of the poles will have probably, say, 6 lights on them. So there's halophane poles. Well, this will come with the cross arms and all that, but it has a concrete pedestal that the poles would mount onto, and it's basically the wires would be hidden inside the poles and all that. But that is 42,000 or so, 43,000 for 6 poles. Then I also got a quote for just our regular like steel power poles, where we can't really run the wires on the inside, but we could do junction boxes and run, metal conduit on the back side and stuff like that, to where, if a ball hits or something like that, it won't break with the metal. But that comes out to $3,051 a pole, and we'll need 6 of those. Was it?
18,000.
Yeah, so about 18,000. But I know we have 15,000 budgeted for this year. The thing is, the lead times is gonna be an effect also. If we go just with the regular steel power pole, we're looking at, say, 20 to 23 weeks lead time. So it wouldn't be till next year by the time we would receive them. These other ones, I think the lead time was shorter, but it still would be probably pushing it to like 18 weeks or something like that.
We could put it on the next agenda. It's probably something we need to, we've been kicking this can down the road for several years now.
But you have lights already purchased. and
The
those
lights are there, yeah, there's no sense to, those are sitting.
So basically, I'm just looking into just getting the poles and then just use the lights that we
And
have.
you're saying the poles with the concrete pedestals, it would be roughly 40,000?
Correct.
But because we already have the lights?
It's just that type of pole. It's kind of like it's like got handholds to where the wires are hidden inside, and actually they would have their own like cross arms and that the lights would mount onto. These other ones, actually when the lights showed up, they got little cross arms that the lights would mount onto that we have at the warehouse with the lights. So I mean, really all we would need is just the pole.
Have we talked to Little League, because I had some conversations with them that they want to move that fence in, so they would need to move the lights in.
Well, this was when Richard was here. We had a meeting with, we had Lori with Lightco. She came out with a sales rep for new lights and stuff. It'll be LED and all that also. But Lee Miller was here also. And it was talked about shrinking the fields to where you get away with 4 poles. But if you shrink it, you're stuck with it. Compared to leaving it, you could use a full field then if you leave it.
Putting temporary fencing.
Yeah, keep that temporary fence there. Because if you shrink it, you can't really utilize it with.
And expand it, you can always shrink it, but you can't expand it.
I think you put it, the temporary, if you need to shrink it, you put a temporary in.
But see, when we got the quote with, Lightco, that was 200-something thousand, but that was a turnkey project where we wouldn't touch it. You know, they would come install the poles, you know, materials, everything. But like, Mr. Miller said, you know, if we're looking into doing a sports complex, why spend all this money on this right here, you know? Just basically not go the cheapest route, but go to where it's gonna last a few more years and, you know, to where we still save some money for a sports complex.
We got $40,000 on poles versus $18,000 to $20,000 on poles.
But the thing is, was still waiting on a quote, I didn't get it back, but like the metal pipe going up, you know, all the extra materials to go this other route. I'm probably thinking another, say, 10,000 with the conduit, wire, junction boxes, stuff like that.
So you're looking at 28,000
Right,
versus 40.
Yeah.
Well, and with the 40 route, we already have the lights versus the other route, we don't.
Well, we got the lights for
Oh,
everything.
we-
Yeah.
okay.
So basically, we're just looking at the poles.
Okay.
But even with the more expensive poles, we'd still have to buy new conduit wire and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
So I know this ain't got anything to do with the pole, but did we ever find out why that scoreboard doesn't work out there? I mean, because there's a lot of games out there that you have to keep it on pen and paper.
West or?
The east side scoreboard does not work.
Oh, I
the
didn't hear,
west-
I didn't hear about that.
Actually, we talked about that.
I bet, yeah, besides the potholes in the road. Scoreboard doesn't work on the east side. It's a nice scoreboard, I mean, it's very nice, but it doesn't work. The one on the west side works. I mean, I guess all the stuff is in the.
See, that's all wireless too, I think.
No, they cut the plug into that
Is it?
box.
I've seen a
Okay.
wire, yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
the
by
box on the west one has a box. The east one, I didn't see a box, so I really wouldn't know where you hook it up to, but they both have scoreboards, but one works, one doesn't.
Okay, yeah, we'll look
I
at
mean,
that.
you can look at it, there may
Yeah.
not be a big to-do, but
It could be just a loose wire.
Well,
or
the thing
something.
is too, I think
they just need a box put there and,
if it's something on Little League side, I think they usually have a contract with Spectrum where they come out and look at them. So, I mean, we'll take a look at it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know who-
Lee Miller.
yeah. Yeah, Lee will know that it doesn't work.
Okay,
So, if y'all would like, maybe we'll put on next month's agenda, we'll put like $20,000, so you're gonna have to approve that. So we can go ahead and get them ordered. It's gonna take, how long? It's gonna take a while to get them.
20 to 22 weeks.
Yeah, so it's gonna be till next year's budget anyway. So if we can at least get them ordered, we can
Yes.
procure those. I think. So we can do, we'll put it in there on next month's agenda if y'all decide, then we can move forward with that. And then, so we probably need to put it in for next year.
Is that 15,000 we have not spent, correct?
Correct. Correct.
No, we have not spent that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can keep track of that on next month's agenda. And does this one say walking trails? So, we hadn't put anything for a while, for the last few years. Back when Mike was here, he had, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, I think all the way up to phase 5 or 6, walking trails. And we had mentioned that we were gonna fund them $35,000 a year to keep adding on. And, we hadn't been doing it, they've kind of stopped. Personally, I see a lot of people out there. I don't know if y'all
I
do
can
that.
tell you there are a lot. I
Yeah.
don't know what the lighting situation is when it gets a little darker along the way, but a lot of people use the walking
Yeah, I
trails.
think it's great, so.
Way folks out there, it's a lot of dead trees.
Yeah, and somebody put
We're-
ribbons on them. We need to take
We're,
care of that.
we're gonna start addressing that.
It's gonna be a kind of a.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
A team project to get maybe the crew, 4 or 5 guys, 2 dump trucks, you know, tractors and things, just to knock it out one day. We'll just all work together to do that. Maybe get them hamburgers or hot dogs or something like that, a reward or something, but it's gonna take an effort to get that cleaned up, but yeah, we can do that.
Quite a few.
So,
I think that's a good thing to leave that in there. The 35,000.
I think that'll be good. I think so. Well, this is, it's subject here. I think most of the top stuff is all the same, the chemicals will be about the same. Building repairs and things like that, just painting and maintaining, but then you get into the actual pool house itself, the bathrooms, pool house. That's gonna be a big ticket item. This year, when we painted them, we added some more lighting, so basically, we did some cosmetic work. We didn't really solve any issues, but,
But it looked so much better than
yeah,
it did.
yeah.
Are we having the problems with bathrooms like we were having last year?
Flushing and toilets.
I
No,
have
not
not heard of
really.
it.
I haven't heard any. I mean, I know like last year was brought up about, was it 1 or 2 pipes that were exposed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We sealed those off and all that, but, I mean, we haven't had too many issues with the bathrooms this year.
Alright,
Is
so,
is the end goal to still do something new over there, or?
Don, you wanna? You plan?
That's kind of complicated. It's got some 2 really deep valves on the west end of the bathroom buildings. I mean, like, what, 12, 13 feet deep?
Correct.
And we're not certain what role they play in the pool exactly. Derek and I were talking, and it may be the old drain valves for the old pool, but we didn't want to build a building over it. And it serves a more critical purpose than just, I mean, even if it's a drain valve, we'd have to be able to access that some way. And with your typical 8-foot ceiling, if we had even a hole in the floor, unless it was a large hole with some kind of plate over it, we'd have trouble getting a 12-foot valve wrench down in there to turn that valve to drain the pool in the wintertime. So we're considering our options, and we're seeing, maybe even a different building configuration, more of a horseshoe type, where they enter in the fronts and go around that valve area, and just leave that valve area outside the building footprint.
Is there grants for that, that we know of?
Possibly.
We could check into that with the Parks Department, Texas Parks and Wildlife, and community development grants and things like that.
We have like 4 grants in the works right now, is that right, Dolores?
We have a lot.
We have quite a few grants,
We're working on
yeah,
it.
that's
We
good.
should.
I was there 2.5 hours for the swim meet, and not one complaint about what
Bathrooms
that
for
thing
now.
looked like.
So if we can maintain them at least at the level we are now, we can get some things
Yeah,
together.
they look a lot better than they
I'll
did.
tell you, paint does a wonder,
It
I mean,
did.
if you
And the
just,
lights brighten it up.
Yeah, I went in and looked myself, and I was very happy with the way it looked from what it did.
Oh, we even put changing tables for children?
Yes.
For change diapers?
Dolores, yes, thank you. Absolutely.
Great idea.
And thank you for the swim meet thing, it was just
Yeah, that
wonderful.
works
It was-
really nice.
Just something we'll think about, we'll work on grants and stuff, it's gonna be quite an expensive project, so.
Well, did you do the laps in the ones too, or
I
no?
didn't know, I just curious.
I don't know, but
I
there's
just
a lot
went
of
there for the
cars,
swim
a lot of
meet and
people.
just visited with people, and I was just, they were all so happy that they were able to have a meet, they're probably wanting to try maybe another one, because it was very successful, and the people were complimenting about the pool, and no complaints about the bathroom and all, and unfortunately, I kind of was fishing for an answer, or about the bathrooms, and nobody complained about it. So, kudos to you guys.
We only have 30 minutes.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quickly on the Civic Center.
Oh, that is.
There went our 30
So,
minutes.
30 seconds.
so on the Civic Center, I guess we can look up hard copies, go back.
Sure.
The Civic Center, we needed to add some money for painting.
Yeah, you don't know where your red arrows were.
Okay, we're on page 20.
We going lights.
David, I know we had to increase that one line item, for building repairs,
Mhm.
paint,
Yeah.
what we got on the painting.
Yeah, and that was not reflecting on here. But yeah, we had to, increase it by 10,000
Yeah,
for
because-
painting, because if, the front of the building is,
Oh, gosh. it
really
does.
bad.
Which one are we on now?
Civic Center.
Okay. I got that, but
Yeah.
the civic center's where I thought we,
So it's not reflected on these hard copies, but, we had added $10,000 to that for, painting in the front of the building. A quote came in at what?
7,500.
Yeah, yeah, so we made that line item 10,000. And then, professional services, oh, it's on here, 10,500, okay, it's on here, I'm sorry. And then, professional services, we increased it by $200. That's basically, when the guy comes in and, waxes the floors, strips and waxes the floors. That's for those two items. So painting of the building and then stripping and waxing the floors is the major tickets in that building. Boys and Girls Club, added just $1,000 for repairs and maintenances. It's an ongoing thing. It's a lot of work to do at the Boys and Girls Club, so we just try to do what we can each year, a little bit at a time. The post office, actually went down a little bit here,
Page 20.
yeah, page 20.
Yeah, page 20.
pretty much stayed the same.
So I just reduced its professional service by $250. We don't really use that as a.
David, on these line items through here, you know, I see you have Hill Park. I don't see anywhere on here where you have like Schaefer Field. I know that,
It's all, it's all under park.
if that's the considered parks.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is there a handicap parking spot there?
Nothing's been done yet, they're waiting for the curving, but I do know the bathrooms there, the fans are out in it as well, in the men's, I know for sure.
Okay.
And, there was some graffiti painted on the side of the,
Oh,
of the concession
Yeah,
stand.
Christine,
I
can
don't
you
know
make
if we
work
can get
orders?
some of that covered up.
No problem.
okay.
But unfortunately, everything's so, I guess.
Hill Park or Schaefer Field?
I'm Schaefer
shaken
Field,
up.
I'm sorry.
Everything's, the building is, I guess, faded out so bad, it's probably gonna be, the whole thing's gonna be repainted, to be
Mhm.
honest.
And, the bathrooms kind of, I guess they need upgraded a little bit too.
Well, I think it was looked at for ADA.
ADA compliance,
Because you can't
yes.
get a wheelchair and all
Correct.
that,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
And even once you get inside, if you could get inside it,
correct,
you can't do anything inside there.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's gonna be a major thing.
Oh, while we're talking budget too, on the park side, could we have some guys go and, I don't know if it's pressure washing or whatever, but even like the playground equipment over there, it looks almost like moldy on it, it's like, it looks like crack, to be honest, and, it could use a good cleaning. I don't know if we can put that in a budget item or not.
And Schaefer.
Or at the
Oh,
main
park.
park, the main park, yeah.
Let's try and do it by hand first, 'cause
Yeah.
I hate to disrupt.
Yeah,
the
but just
process.
a heads up to keep an eye on that too.
If not,
Yeah, so we could, Christine, got that Saturday playground
Fans in the bathroom, graffiti cleanup,
and
Playground.
mold at the playground over here.
mold,
I'm guessing it's mold, it's just,
It's probably,
yeah, it probably needs a good clean.
mold where, like on the
The
play.
main one here.
Maybe
by
by
the-
the
The
pavilion?
playground.
Yeah,
Like
over there.
on the actual,
Not
like,
by the
equipment?
Correct.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, across
No,
the,
he's talking about across the street.
From the pool.
From
the pool.
yes, across the pavilion.
Yeah, okay.
Did y'all put anything in there for trying to refresh the water splash pad?
No, we did not.
Somebody was gonna check on that.
I don't recall it.
You know, it looks so,
Repainting
it's starting
it,
to
the
look,
fade, I mean,
fade
you mentioned it.
it just needs to be
Yeah.
refreshed.
Okay.
Wasn't that guy gonna come, was he gonna give us a quote or
Got
something?
that, Christine?
The pool guy?
It was gonna be
Splash pad,
the
looking
jets,
up.
on the rings, that's all, but.
One more item while you're adding it, I don't know, sorry, just gotta, just keep adding
No,
it
no,
to it.
that's good.
The fence on the back side of the park that's on that playground equipment, I think it would look 10 times better if we pulled the chain link out and made it match.
That's, someone had talked about that before.
I think that's definitely something to look into, it would clean it up.
Wrought iron or?
Yes, it's black.
Black, yeah.
To
It's like
match
a-
what we got.
The rest of it looks really nice.
It does, and once you walk in there, you're like, oh man, it would look a lot better. I mean,
That's not a work
That's a budget.
Just write it down
Yeah.
this way.
And another thing,
Don't we have somebody that takes meeting minutes?
while we're talking about the park, I may have been fixed, but I believe at Kadinky, I know underneath those swings, there was a lot of water, and it looked like behind it, there's a water leak. I don't know if somebody can check on that. It was a bunch of mud, it was gone, and then the next day it filled back up, and there was no rain overnight.
I think, we adjusted, it's sprinklers
Is it?
inside there, and see, for a while, when, probably about 6 months ago, it was to where it was set like 5 days a week, and we looked at it and we we're like, well, we don't even need it that much, so we took it to like, I think 3 days a week or 2 days a week.
Okay.
It was, we thought it was real spongy in the middle too, thinking it was a leak in there, but that's what it was just the water from the sprinklers going all the time, it was so saturated, it just stayed there, so.
And maybe underneath those swings, it's pretty
Yeah.
washed out, we could put some gravel or
Right.
something to fill that in.
Okay.
That would be something.
Let's see where we spend our time at nowadays.
I was say, y'all stay outside.
You know, those young people are, they-
I know, I think I'm gonna go, I do like the swing set because that was the old swing set that they still have there. And please don't get rid of it, cause I swung on that one.
Yeah. All right, so we got notes on those items there. Page 22, go to solid waste. So we're projecting the revenues about the same, I didn't change anything there. And then on the, let me back up a page, yeah. So, page 21, solid waste rates. We haven't increased the solid waste rates in several years. On the same note, we haven't, TDS hasn't increased our rates either. We're still at we mark them up 5%, so that's been the same for all these years here. 1, 2, 3, the last 3 years. So I guess if y'all want, we'll just keep the rates the same?
David, who maintains the roads in and out of there? Is that on us?
In and out of,
Transfer station,
Transfer station?
from what point?
inside the gates.
Yeah.
East South Street,
Yeah,
oh, you're not talking about the road that goes to it, you're talking about once it's in there.
Inside the gates.
That should be.
Didn't they come to us?
We did this before with the decking, up from the deck, and then the road, the gravel road that goes around back. And I think y'all determined that they leased that, and then they should maintain
That's
it.
their responsibility.
That's the agreement we had with TDS.
We did UTEX Drive, we stabilized that, I know we did that about 3 years ago. But I think, I would say if we're going with the same principle, anything that they lease, they should maintain.
Is there a way we can force them to fix that? It's been really bad. Talk to Bo.
Have you ever gone up on the deck? That little Toyota would make it,
I mean, it's pretty bad, it's
bad.
fast.
Have you been up on the deck up the top? Yeah, it's bad.
I was there today, I know there's a lot of potholes on, like, going around.
Right.
And looked like someone did some kind of work over there, like patching them, but it wasn't the city, so I don't know if they are starting to hire somebody to look at that or what, but.
Well, that's what I wasn't sure of, you know, we own it, or we're responsible, or they lease it, responsibility transfers in.
It's their
100%.
That's in the agreement, yeah, that they maintain.
Well, then, per Kurt's question, is there some way we could?
Yeah, maybe we can start off,
Take
trying
care
to
of
work with
that.
them, and if not, we can escalate it to the attorney.
Probably need to escalate it to the attorney, because TDS has approached me twice now about helping them by paying, we pay half of the repair cost.
We,
And it was
no,
like
we-
$90,000 for the concrete portion, and then for the, I guess, the gravel portion that they're proposing to have put in, it was an additional $22,000.
They've done
They
that
want
before.
to split the cost with us. Y'all have already said no to that once.
Yes.
But the lady that actually walked in, she said, well, we thought since you were the new city manager, you might work with us. I said, city manager is a city manager. We manage the city. The council makes the decisions.
And that's when they.
They have
oh,
already
man.
decided they're not going to share the cost, so that's my answer to you. We will not share the cost.
Reduce our rates to what Alex goes, paying and we'll call.
There. They know the
I'll
answer.
repeat that next time they ask.
You don't have to, because they've already heard it.
Yeah, they've heard it other times.
Yeah.
And they ain't
But
gonna
they
do
heard
it.
That's why.
Okay.
You know, where I get countered on that kind of stuff, and because I'm kind of new to all this, is that, you know, they deliver their own trash. You know, seal and break rooms, they're responsible for doing that, Hallettsville's responsible for doing that, so thus their rates are less than what we have to pay.
But we're right here, 1 mile wide.
Right. So,
They wanna come here and tell us it's gas and fuel, I mean, give me a break, you're going,
yeah,
half a mile across town and back.
Yeah.
We
Right.
pick up Hallettsville's.
Do we?
TDS picks up
Yeah.
Hallettsville's carts
Yeah,
and then
that comes
delivers
in.
them here, so they're no different than what we are.
But they
other
get
than-
a cheaper rate.
And they have a cheaper.
well, that's why I'm asking,
Yeah.
I don't know,
13% cheaper.
Wow.
that's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're reconsidering their contract with them too.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm sticking with my grounds and somebody else can come out, we can get anybody to take that, that's a gold mine over there.
I don't personally believe we're making enough money off of it
I don't think we,
for that transfer station.
we reduced it, how many years ago did
That's what.
Mike
Schulenberg-
reduce
Yep.
that? Right before he left, huh?
Yeah,
A year?
the year before we left.
It's reduced, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we need to.
Wasn't the council reduced it, was it?
No,
No.
See, very good answer.
I think it's good too, we have a separate, contract for the leasing of that facility and a separate contract for the garbage pickup, so they're not tied together. They need to be kept separate.
Yes.
All right,
If they stop picking up our garbage, they no longer get the transfer station.
that's right.
Say it again?
If they stop picking up our garbage, they no longer get the transfer station.
no,
That's in their contract.
Got it.
They're not, they're stopping.
but there's a lot of people that would love to have that transfer station.
Yeah.
If they think they're the only ones, no.
No, they know how valuable it is.
Of course they do.
They really do.
That's why they've let us go for 5 years without doing anything.
They're not gonna turn loose of it.
Well, then they need to step up, take care of the business.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Is that something we get Bo involved in, and
Yeah.
get them to fix that?
Yeah, he would be the enforcer of the contracts, he would create the injunctions and so forth, take it to the courts.
Yeah, I definitely feel they're in violation of the contract.
Some kind of codes.
Fish.
I'm just saying.
Not maintained in good condition.
Yeah,
Too many mosquitoes, whatever.
yeah.
Brown water.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
Go ahead, Dave.
Page 23, highlighted in yellow there are the transfers out to the general fund and equipment fund. We still need to figure out what projects we're gonna do in the general fund and how much money we need to transfer over.
And who's we? Who's we?
Don and myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something's in his pocket.
Yeah.
Solid waste, the administration on page 24, that's all, that's about the same as within $1,000 on that. And that's it really, that's it for up through the solid waste. Next time we'll talk about, the electric fund, the water sewer fund, capital projects. And capital projects, we've got those long sheets there, the legal size sheets there. That's some of the capital projects we need to kind of be thinking of what we want to do over the next 5 years. Well, you know, what capital projects we want next year and then on out. Obviously, water system, repairs and improvements, is gonna be a big item there we need to consider.
So, David, what about on page 26 with the proposed permanent inspection fees?
I didn't think we were gonna talk about that tonight, but I can certainly look at that. I think we're gonna bring that up for next meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
You want, you can look at that, there's gonna be a lengthy discussion there,
Okay.
as, with the safe built and everything. Yeah. You certainly have the information in front of you there, and just look over it and kinda get some thoughts.
I got plenty.
I know. You do.
Do we plan on
Everybody all
addressing
do.
anything on the golf cart ordinance next meeting? Cause I don't think we really see anything come across, and I don't know if Jones is really pushing forward with that.
I haven't heard anything, have you? Has it about since our last
I
meeting?
assumed it was coming with an ex-council.
I mean, really, what we asked to bring the state law.
Just the state law.
So, we can get that pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't have to all
Just
be
trying to,
rewritten.
yeah, just trying to get it passed and done, get it passed and so we're done with it.
Make a note.
And next, I think maybe, budget workshop about 2 hours long, would that be okay with y'all?
At the next meeting,
What time will we start?
3:30,
3:30?
that's gonna be on the 10th.
Yes.
Okay. Let me check. Oh,
Well, if you can't make it quite to 2 hours, maybe just.
well,
leave it
I'll
there.
check the calendar, we have a lot of people, we're down one, so,
Yeah.
lots of,
That's
so
all.
many
Thank you.
going appointments. Can't shut the doors. Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and second to adjourn at